3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or
I was sad. I was like, oh, she at the game. She got to support her baby. But thank you.
And a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy. Could have turned out like your homeboy. Being on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road. Take care of home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach, screaming bump the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop.
Angelina, Shalom.
Man doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had the slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work, gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't doing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Hello. It's Thursday again. That's right. You're hearing my voice live. So it's Thursday again. All praises to the Most High for seeing this wonderful day. All right. Thank you for being here with me. You could be anywhere on God's internet, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe if you are on the YouTube. Also, if you are on Facebook, please like and share. Feel free to comment and become a part of the conversation. Few things we're going to talk about today. Our main topic, leaving doors and windows open. How come there are some things in our past that we just refuse to leave behind? A lot of us are pillars of salt and we don't even know it. So we're going to get into that. We also have our What's Going On in Babylon segment, and wickedness of the week. And I must tell y'all, it's kind of a lot of information that I'm bringing to y'all today. Nikki Nicole, listen, this is the balloon lady, Miss Diamond Balloon Affairs. Please holler at her if you have an anniversary coming up. You want to show some love to a special someone, hopefully your spouse or whoever you're courting. Please holler at her if you are in the metro Atlanta area. Okay, so yes, I do kind of have a lot of information for y'all this week because you'll see. Okay, so what's going on in Babylon? And then for wickedness of the week, we have a few things to talk about. Okay, so first, but before we get into all of that, I have to give a shout out to my wonderful, lovely, handsome, gorgeous, sexy husband of mine, Monologue McGad. Please go to your streaming platform for your music, whether it be Apple, Spotify, Pandora. I'm an iTunes girl myself, and stream the album. Just hold on. There is some more stuff cooking, you guys. It will be out soon. So go ahead and catch up on this before the next season, the next album. All right, thank y'all so much. Okay, what's going on in Babylon? So listen, I don't know if y'all heard about Sha'Carri Richardson being kicked off the plane. Okay, I've talked to y'all recently about how I kind of started listening to Candace Owens' podcast, and I'm listening to her. Oh, I'm watching it on YouTube or whatever, and she's going into the Sha'Carri Richardson incident, and so Sha'Carri got kicked off a plane because she was recording herself, and the flight attendant came and asked her to put the phone away. And instead of her just complying and putting the phone away, she's like arguing with the flight attendant. The people on the flight is like, girl, come on, we trying to leave. So like she's arguing with them, they're arguing with her. So she gets kicked off the plane. Okay. Now, when Miss Candace Owens talks about her behavior, she refers to the behavior as Black privilege. Like, what do you mean Black privilege? She said that Sha'Carri has Black privilege because I don't know if you guys remember when she was kicked out of the 2021 Olympics because she tested positive for cannabis. Okay. If you remember, she explained like, listen, I found out in a really messed up way. Like a reporter told her that her biological mother had passed. This is how she finds out that her mom died. Okay. From a reporter. Again, I'm not here to talk about if that was right or not. That's not what I'm here to talk about. What we can all agree on is that is emotionally traumatizing just hearing about it. Yes, Black privilege. That's what she called it. It's emotionally traumatizing to even imagine that. So I can't imagine her being in this. Okay. So anyway, this led to her testing positive for cannabis and being excused from the Olympics. Okay. So because there were people that were saying like, hey, come on, it's just cannabis. It's not performance enhancing. She had an emotional issue, like give her a break. So Candace says that this is, Black privilege given to Sha'Carri because she's this, I don't want to say ghetto, but that's kind of what she was implying. Okay. But so it made me wonder, how can Candace Owens be so right on some things and just horribly wrong on other things? Because a few things that she does stand on that I will agree with, and I took notes here, okay, because I wanted to make sure I got myself right. A few things she does stand on that I do agree with. The Democratic Party is a plantation, and the goal of the American left is for Black people to be dependent on the government. Now, as far as her listen, we don't get involved in politics here, but her overall kind of role, I guess, is a political pundit as a conservative, and she has, as of late, about 2015, I think, became a Trump supporter. Now, before this, she was a Democrat. She was a Democrat. Okay, but let's back up to even before that. Jay Faulkner, Shalom, thank you for joining me, sis. Let's back up to even before that, okay? Because when a Black person seeks to isolate themselves from mainstream images of Black America, and hear what I'm saying, because we do that. Like, no, we're not mainstream Black, but when you go so far as to totally isolate yourself, even in the form of interracial marriage, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, even in the form of interracial marriage, when you go that far, we have to kind of try to figure out like what happened. Where did the wires get crossed where other Black people look at you and can assess that you probably don't like yourself as you should. Okay, so Candace Owens grew up in Connecticut, Stamford, Connecticut. Okay, so if you know about Stamford, Connecticut, that's already majority white town. Okay, she grew up with her grandparents because her father walked out and her mother, I guess, was having trouble like most single parents do. 5 kids, they were living with her parents. Now she says that her mom kept her in novels and reading books all the time, and she think that really helped her not to succumb to basically what she describes as like the curses of her family. She talks about throughout her life having to visit her uncles in jail, having a homeless drunk uncle, and just seeing all of these traumatizing things in her childhood, all containing what? Black people, okay? This is her home life. When she's at school, yes, she's faced with racism, but eventually, the white kids learn to accept her and she's excelling academically in school. Okay. So the teachers like her, the students like her, you know what I mean? So this is where she feels something other than the burden and the negativity of being her at home, if you understand what I'm saying. Okay. So off to college she goes, and by the way, she didn't graduate. No shade. I'm just saying she's not even college educated. Um, she winds up dropping out her junior year. Okay. And you'll see why. I only point that out just to further drive home the point that she's not that different from the rest of us. Okay. There is a article she wrote about about white officers unaliving black men. She claims that this is not racist behavior. Okay, that's matter of fact. Hold on, let me find the title of the article because to I want to make sure that I say it right. Hold on. No, I can't. Okay, I don't remember where I wrote it down, but the title of the article and basically the main point of the article was that racism wasn't the reason that white cops are unaliving black men. So in this article, she talks about her white boyfriend and how he's just such a classic white guy. He belongs to a country club. Um, something about what school he goes to, and just all this stuff to just kind of prop him up like I guess her dream white man. And in this article, she talks about her first time at a country club and how uncomfortable she was. But it wasn't because of racism. It was because it was just a foreign environment to her, and she just had to make herself comfortable amongst these people who made it clear that they didn't want her there. She had to learn how to make herself comfortable. Yeah. And I can't believe she's saying this. Like, girl, are you serious? Um, so in the meantime, she starts working for now after she dropped out of college, she winds up getting this cushy job in finance. I guess she had good connections or whatever. I don't know. Um, she goes to this job in finance, but when she meets, oh, here's the kicker, okay? When she starts talking to her or dating her boyfriend or whatever, she makes it very clear to him. And I quote, I'm not the stereotypical black girl. I don't have a name that's hard to pronounce, and I don't speak in colloquialisms. This is what she says. This is how she represents herself. It's like, let me try to get as far away from what you perceive as black as I possibly can. Because I'm not like them. I'm not like them. Yes, my skin is brown, but I'm not like them. And listen to what I'm saying, okay? Like, I can't imagine having that messed up of a childhood. She had, from what she said, and I'm aware that there can be a mispainting of certain situations in order to hold up one's point. So I'm not ignorant to that fact at all, but I am going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say, dang, it sounds like she had a pretty rough childhood. And it sounds like the people around her who happen to be Black, because that's what her family is. It sounds like the people around her did not necessarily provide the best imagery of what one should want for her future. Okay. I'm not going to say that that's not true. Well, she right. She ain't like us and she can stay. I totally understand why you feel that way. And I'm not gonna lie, like at a certain point reading her article, she starts talking about how when she thinks about the violence against Black men, how she's empathetic to both sides and she wants to save both sides because in her mind, the white officer is her white boyfriend and the Black man is her uncle or her cousin or okay, so she wants to save both of them. And literally her assessment of the situation is if we can all just get rid of our ignorance and learn how to get along, then racism will end and all of this will just go away. Okay, because according to her, nationalism and white supremacy have not had nearly the effect on Black people that we've had on ourselves, you know, with our own issues in our community, like the crack and the guns that we went and procured and brought back to the hood and brought back to the hood. You know, the stuff that we do to ourselves. I just and here's my thing, right? I'm not saying that Candace Owens doesn't have great talking points. She does. But at the end of the day, she really is a hurt little Black girl. Okay. And there are a lot of us walking around, a lot of us. Some of us tend to display it in different ways. Okay. Miss Candace Owens displays her self-hatred by totally aligning herself with everything opposite of what you think what you associate with mainstream Black America, okay? And I'm very careful of how I word it because there are people who think like her. There are groups of Black people, these are upper class Blacks, who feel like their wealth transcends their race. So they feel like because they've achieved a certain amount of wealth and status that their Blackness is now invalid in their lives. Like, because they are who they are, because they're as educated as they are, because they have as much money as they do, when white people look at them, they don't see a regular Black person like they would see when they're looking at you and I. And they all share this thought process regarding what they consider lower class Blacks. That again would be you and I. Okay. So my thing is, if there's a problem with a Black person, we should discuss that amongst other Black people. Okay. Hear what I'm saying. This woman, Mrs. Owens, is on a predominantly white platform with a predominantly white audience. And as much as I want to lend my support, the fact of the matter is supporting her at any point would lend to the idea that I support her self-hatred, and I don't at all. I find it disgusting and I find it repulsive. Okay. And I'm also gonna say, I also want to add this part, okay? Um, a lot of times we we as Black women display our self-hate in that we will reject male authority because all we've ever had is toxic female authority. Okay. So because we grew up with that, now we find it hard to submit to a husband. Now we find it hard to be cooperative within our marriage. And you're like, well, how is that self hate? Why is it hard for you to listen to this black man? What have you been told all your life? What have you seen all your life? And so when you look at somebody like Candace Owens, intelligently, I understand running away from the thing that has traumatized you. I get it. I get it. I also just have to thank God that I did not. Like, we've all had our experiences. I thank God that I still, was able to love me a black man because, child, her life is absent. I mean, if you look at how she looks on her show, it's like she has to separate herself from us so that they will accept her. And in her role as the urban representative, because that's how she got started at a conservative organization called Turning Point. It's pretty well known. They go through college campus spreading conservative rhetoric, in particular things like racism doesn't exist and things that are detrimental to black people. These are ideologies that are detrimental to black people, and she's their urban representative. But she's the least urban black person that I've ever seen. So she's not the urban representative. She's what we would like you urban people to be. You know what I'm saying? It's craziness. But once you kind of take all this into consideration, like I understand why she's that way. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying unless you've had unless you've been blessed to be able to change your mind, to be able to see better, to be able to experience better, then, she's just kind of left with this monotonous view of black people. And I hate that for her. Like, could you imagine your life with no black people in it? Could you imagine being surrounded by white people all the time? Like, how are you eating? I can't imagine what her food tastes like. No, do you understand what I'm saying though? Like, I thought about this the other day too. My kids don't know what white people look like. Like, we were talking about Jacob and Esau, and I was trying to explain red and hairy all over. And so I was like, so when you see, and I'm like, dang, no, they don't know because they don't see. Like, I had to pull up a picture on Google and show it to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are not, and it's just crazy to me because every day of my life I was around white people. I had a German nanny. I started off at a German kindergarten. We went to military school. All the teachers were white. Jarrell Robertson, Shalom, thank you for joining me. All the teachers were white. I was surrounded by white people. My kids are not. Okay. So it's just so odd to see how all of that can come together. And unfortunately, like, she's just stuck in this bad place. And I feel sorry for her. I really do. I feel bad for her. I can't imagine not loving my black self and my blackness. Like, I can't imagine not loving that. I can't imagine having to deny that. And I don't feel like just because she takes a conservative viewpoint that she has to be demoralizing or diminishing to mainstream black people. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what other way to put it. When I say, yeah, to black, no, forget mainstream, just to black people, because this child just seeks to separate herself from black people as a whole. And it's just crazy. It's like, if you're not a conservative black, if you don't line up with her political beliefs, then you're not good enough. And it doesn't have to be that way. imagine if she, with her reach, with her ability to transcend those lines, would actually go in and represent real Black interests. Oh, but then they probably wouldn't let her in. Now, and let's be clear, she at one time has started a organization called Blexit. And the goal of Blexit is called Black Exit. And the goal of Blexit was for Black people to become more financially independent. This whole 180 came when Donald Trump retweeted one of her tweets, and then Kanye West retweeted something of hers, and then all of a sudden, she's everywhere. And it's also this goes to show us a few things, okay? It goes to show us that sometimes selling your soul is not just about sex. It's not just about getting naked. It's also about your mental capital and what you choose to do with it, your intellectual abilities and how you choose to use them. Okay? And I'm going to say this. I've always felt that you cannot talk Black and sleep white. I've always felt that it didn't make any sense to me. And reading this article helped reading the article that she wrote that article. Reading that article that she wrote helped to solidify my thinking, because if you love a person, you're always going to empathize with that person and their side of the issue. Like I tell y'all, like y'all know my husband is big. He's, you know what I'm saying? 250. Like, that man has a presence and his voice is deep. When we're around women who have not been around a man, be it a father or a husband or anything like that, like, their voice is intimidating to him. And I'm always going to empathize with my husband. That's my husband. I love him. Yes, I'm a woman, so I see where you're coming from. I get it, but this is mine. Okay? So just change the issues. Yeah, you're Black, so I get it, but I love him. You understand what I'm saying? And so I just, you can't talk Black and sleep white. You can't. I just refuse to believe it. This article confirmed that for me. And so now I will say again, she has great talking points. She anti-abortion. She talks about abortion being sent to the Black community to exterminate Black people. She talks about, her solution for coming over to the Republican Party. Again, that's just her political rigmarole going to and fro, because that's not the answer either. That's not the answer either. But she has some good talking points. I'm not going to say that I'm never going to listen to her stuff, because some of the stuff she be saying is real, but when it comes to Black people, ma'am, you're just off the Richter. And I really feel like people like her do us more harm than good, because at the end of the day, you're not really trying to save Black people. You just want us to come to the other plantation. That's what the truth is. You just want us to vote for the other side of the other wing on the same bird. Now, don't get me wrong. Y'all have heard me say how glad I am to live in a red state. Yes, I'm not going to act like these things don't exist and they don't affect my life. Okay, but let's also not act like everybody, all of them don't have the same end goal. Okay? That's my 2 cents on Miss Candace Owen. We'll continue to lift her up in prayer, I guess. All right, wickedness of the week, y'all. I have a few things for this segment. Let's get into it. Y'all, did you know that 2 days ago, the doomsday clock was set to 90 seconds to midnight? 90 seconds to midnight. That's a minute and 30 seconds. That's like a commercial to midnight. Why did they push it up now? It went up to 100 seconds to midnight in 2020. And now it is at 90 seconds to midnight. Why, you may ask? Because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict and the fact that it keeps getting worse. And then what happens? I think like Germany and the US sent some tanks over there. And Vladimir, of course, is like, what is y'all doing? And Biden's like, oh, what? We're not doing nothing while these tanks are rolling by. So, yes, now the doomsday clock is set at 90 seconds to midnight. But they said that if everyone would just calm down, they could turn the clock back. Did you know that you could turn time back? I didn't know that. Yes, you can. Okay. And there is a statue. There is a statue that was erected on the steps of a courthouse in New York. I'm going to show you on the steps of a courthouse in New York, right? Here's this statue. Do y'all see this thing? So people are complaining, of course. Yes. Are you talking about the doomsday clock? Yeah, I just found that out today. It's crazy. People are complaining because if you look at the statue and you look at the head and the horns, they say it's giving Baphomet. If you notice the lace collar that the statue seems to be wearing, it is reminiscent of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was a Supreme Court justice who died, I think, in 2020 or something like that. But she's very pro-feminist, pro-abortion, pro-female reproductive rights, all this good stuff. The things sticking out the side are supposed to, I don't know what this is, but this statue, according to the artist, is supposed to represent female reproductive freedom. That's what this statue is supposed to represent. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, like I told y'all about that MLK statue that they put up. You're not going to tell me that I don't see what my two eyes are telling me that I see. What? So the statue is, yes, to commemorate female reproductive rights and RBG for her fight in securing abortion rights. Okay. We need a statue for that. For real. Okay, and I don't know if you guys have heard about the attempt to cancel Natural Woman, the song by Aretha Franklin. Yes, there was a tweet sent out which later was said to be from a prank eligibility community advocacy group. Okay, catch what I'm saying? It's supposed to be a prank group and they just sent this tweet out, but the song did shoot up to number 1 on iTunes amidst the controversy. So I hope at least her family got a check off of that. That was Wickedness of the Week. Listen, if you come across something interesting and you feel like, oh, you should talk about this, please send it to me. DM it to me. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Tag me in it. I am searching the internet for things throughout the week. So if I come up on something, I will definitely include it. Thank y'all so very much. All right. So for our main topic, why Boaz don't want your ass. You leave doors and windows open. And I know you might be like, well, what you mean by that? Doors and windows open. If you recall, when it was time to flee Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot and his wife were told to run. Just run. Don't look back. Don't look back here. You don't want to see what's about to happen. Run on ahead. And a lot of times in our life, That is how the Holy Spirit will be directing us. If we really like tap in and listen to what God is saying to us, it would be run on, keep going. You don't want to stay here. Run ahead. Some of us will even enter into commitments with our foot still holding the door open to the past. You won't absolutely cut off all communication. You won't totally be done with the situation. And I can understand how transition is scary. Let me explain something to you guys. 9, 10 years ago, I packed up. Well, I sold most of my stuff in my apartment, moved back here, no job, no place to live. Oh, well, my parents. You know what I mean? I had to move back in with my parents. But it was time for me to leave where I was. Okay. And in leaving where I was, it was hard to break those ties and connections. These were my friends. This is my memories. This is a significant portion of my life. I didn't want to let everything go. I didn't even really want to leave. Okay, so a lot of times when we are emotionally led and we let our heart just bleed out all over the place, we don't know then how to pack all this up, clean it up, and say, okay, it's time for me to leave from here. And I'm not saying that this is not hard for men, okay, but I don't know. So I can't attest to how that goes for you guys. But I know for us as women, um your natural state is to be nurturing and emotional, okay? So when you decide to let a man into your space, into your life, and some of y'all into the sacred place, there's no, as much as you may tell yourself that your emotional attachment is going to be limited and that you can control that thing, you know good and well when you really like him and then he rings your bell, oh, it's over. Oh, it's over. Oh, no, you in love. You don't want to see him with nobody else. His phone better not ring. You trying to hunt him down. You want his every waking moment to be with you. And this is the problem with friends with benefits, right? Because it's all cool until you decide that no, that's not good enough anymore because you don't put your heart in the part. Naughty by nature. Okay. So listen, there's going to come a time in your life, and for some of y'all, that time might be now, when you're just going to have to walk away from some things, some people, some situations. And let's be clear. Let me say this. Hold on. What? Because I know that we live in a generation of I'll cut you off, I'll cut you off, I'll cut you off. And let me tell y'all, that is just ridiculous. We've got to stop being like that. And please understand, this is something I had to work on as well. Okay, I'm a little crybaby. I'm very sensitive. It's very easy to hurt my feelings. And once you hurt them feelings, oh, but I don't want to talk to you ever again in life. I have nothing else to say to you. You hurt my feelings one time. Yes, I was like that, and I can admit that. So now that I'm starting to get over that, let me talk to you about it, okay? Like, people are gonna say things, people are gonna do things. Everybody's not watching your movie though, okay? Everybody does not see life through your eyes. So what we can't do is let every little thing cause us to um cause us to put ourselves on an abandoned, deserted island. Because that's what happens when you call yourself cutting everybody off and cutting everybody off. And I'm not talking to this one and I'm not talking to that one. Next thing you know, you wake up on an island by yourself, and no man can survive on an island by himself. We've got to stop doing that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I read something a long time ago that said Black people, the problem why we can't get along is because we have the privilege of not being able to get along. Because if we really lived together in a community, if we really worked together in a community, if we were really united on the goal of excelling our people and taking us to the next level, then these little petty disagreements would have no life among us. We would not have time to be focused on that. We'd be focused on, okay, how are we gonna build today? How are we gonna move today? There would be no time for arguments and disagreements because we all trying to make it and trying to survive. But we have the privilege of being able to not like each other because we don't work together. We won't work together. And listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's all our fault. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying now is, now that we're starting to recognize some of these problems, we have to start talking about them. Or our generations are going to be left as pillars of salt. Our children aren't going to be able to get anywhere. I was at lunch with my mom and my daughters one day, and one of my daughters asked me a question. She was like, did you have to heal from some things before you married dad? And I was honest. I was like, oh yeah, of course I did. I'm very honest with my daughters, almost to a fault. Like, my mom doesn't understand it, and I think she hates it. But so she asked my mother the same question, like, did you have to heal before you married granddad? And she looked at her and she was like, no. And that was the end of the conversation. And I was like, what a difference. Like, it was really shocking to me, the difference in the response. And I'm going to say it was a generational thing, because I know a lot of older Black women like my mother who do not talk about certain things with their children. I am your mom and that's it. I am only the authority figure to you. You cannot see me as a fallible human being. This is it. And me, I'm like, no, baby, I'm an open book. What do you need to know? What can I give you to help? Here, let me tell you everything. And you take what you need. Totally different responses. But, and hear what I'm saying. If there's anybody I want to respect me and to look up to me and to admire me, it's my own daughters. It's my own daughters. Listen, of course, my husband, of course. But right after him, I want my daughters to look up to me and be like, oh, that's my mom. Like, my sons, they do that now. They're only 7 and 5. So I'm still wonderful to them. I'm still amazing. Like, oh, I'm the best mom ever. I hear this like 3-4 times a day. Okay. So that's fine. But my daughters are adults, young adults, teenagers. So yes, I want them, you know what I mean? I want them to respect and admire their mom. But more than that, I want them equipped for life. I will take the L of how they look at me now, because they're at that age where they're starting to see things and they're starting to have their own life experiences and their own relationships. Okay? And they're starting to put 2 and 2 together, and they're starting to ask questions and trying to figure things out. Who am I to begrudge them that opportunity? Who am I to impede their process of self-discovery because I'm ashamed, because I'm embarrassed, because I made stupid and bad decisions? So now I'm going to be twice the fool and not say anything to my children, not warn my children. And please hear me. I mean no respect to the older generations, but let's look at what's going on around us. Somebody got to start talking to these children and telling them the truth. Somebody has to. And there's no way, no better way for them to understand that there's nothing new under the sun than for them to hear the same testimonies generation after generation. What better way to get the message than to hear your mama say, yeah, baby, this is what I went through too. And then your grandmama say, yes, baby, this is what I went through. And this is, listen, don't do this. Don't do this. We did this. Don't do this. Let us help guide you. But we don't want to do that because we too worried about sitting up on our pretty pedestals and what everybody is going to think about us. And it makes no freaking sense. We're leaving our community stuck. As a pillar, we are stuck. We're not advancing. We're not moving. Why? It's like we don't learn from our history. Okay, listen. Hey, we can't go back to the slave ships and find out what boat we came in on. And we know that, yes, they're selling us our DNA. But good night. It's enough of us alive right here and now to establish some kind of precedent, some kind of narrative, some kind of history, some kind of sense of self to pass on to our children, or to at least guide them effectively into finding their own, all while keeping the law of the Most High. That is first and foremost. Let me be clear in everything that I'm saying. Because without the law, we have no identity. And see, here's the thing. We don't want to turn back to the basis of our identity, which is the Bible, which is the law and the commandments. It dictates our customs, our values, and our morals. All these rich things that other cultures of brown people seem to have. And I don't know about you, but I've always admired it. I wanted a dad to love me and to protect my virtue. I wanted to have family celebrations. I wanted people looking at me with expectations for my life. I wanted somebody to feel like that person's not good enough for you. Let's stop fooling ourselves. We've conditioned our Black girls to feel like there's something wrong with having a man love you. We are at a state in time where people feel like they don't have to answer to anybody for anything. And where has that gotten us? Where has that gotten us? Did y'all see the Rugrats adult cartoon rendition where they had Susie as a single mom? The only Black Rugrat, and she's a single mom. Even Angelica got a man, okay? Angelica Pickles had a man, but Susie can't have a man. And so when I went to look for more background on it, one of the articles was headlined, Black women don't mind being single mothers until other races point it out. Are they lying? Are they lying? Here's what we got to start doing. We got to start looking in the mirror at ourselves. When people are saying things about, are they lying? And so we need to, okay, now we need to congregate amongst ourselves and figure this out. They're not lying. And see, again, though, righteous judgment, right? Because what you can't do is be on social media propagating the Black single mother stereotype and prescribing this lifestyle for our girls. You can't be doing that on social media. But then when somebody feels like, oh, this is, modern cultural art, you want to get upset. But this is the culture that you prescribe to. This is the culture that you're living. How are you getting upset about this? Aren't you a proud single mom? What's wrong with this? Why do you expect people to think that it's normal for Black people to get married when y'all not getting married? You're not getting married. That's why they don't think it's normal. You're on TikTok and Instagram talking about how you're going to unalive babies. Singing and dancing about taking your baby daddy to court. It's not normal for Black people to get married because y'all not getting married anymore. It's like we'll sit around and be in our mess. And you know them tornado sirens? Like, I don't know about y'all, but here in Douglas County, the first Wednesday of every month, they test the tornado sirens. And it's very, very loud. Very loud. And it gives you an announcement. And it's like, hey, this is just a test. When was what? Oh, the Rugrats thing. Oh, just Google it. Google Susie Carmichael single parent. It'll come up. So I was like, okay, so we're in our mess, okay? And the tornado siren is going off. Now, this thing is very, very loud. And they make an announcement. This is just a test. If there was something really wrong, you should do this, 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 and this, okay? And every month, this thing goes off. It goes off. It goes off. We're so wrapped up in our mess that if this thing went off on a Friday and it was a clear emergency, we would not notice. We wouldn't notice. We would continue in our mess because that's what we've been doing. Black people being unalived by police officers, and now what? 5 of our own? 5 of us did it to another one of us, and you see what they did with them, right? Oh, ain't no paid leave. Ain't no paid leave with suspension. Sir, you're going under the jail. Under the jail, because see, while the laws don't work between a whole man and 3/5 of a man, you 3/5 of men don't know how to police yourselves. So we're going to police you. About the sirens, right? You people can't police yourselves, so we gotta police you. Don't you worry about what goes on with us full men over here. And see, this is what we fail to realize. They got it figured down amongst themselves. Ain't nobody got it. They got it figured out as soon as they see your brown skin. Look up the Dred Scott decision. What does the Dred Scott decision say? The ultimate finding of the Dred Scott decision was that there is no law that a white man has to respect in occurrence to a Black man. And so, but if you tell this to people, they want to act all shocked and appalled, like, that's not true, but you won't look around you and see what's going on. You refuse to look around you and see what reality is even telling you. And so a lot of us still do this in our everyday lives, right? You know this man ain't no good, child. You keep calling him and he ain't called you. You always got to be the one to text him. You always chasing him down. You know he don't really like you like that, girl. And let me tell you something. There's nothing that you can do to make him like you. I wish that y'all would get this out your head that you're going to make a man do anything. You're not even going to make him like you. He'll tolerate you for a good time. You might be fun. A romp in the hay every now and then, or I'm bored, I want to go out and kick it. I got a couple extra dollars to spend. Let me call her up, because I hope y'all at least making him pay for the date. I hope you're at least doing that. Because my goodness, you're going to go out, pay for your food, and but you know he don't like you. He done told you. His friends done told you. Well, what do you mean? He didn't listen. He's not gonna come right out and tell you. But ma'am, the math need to be mathing, and you know the math is not mathing. That little voice in your head is telling you the math is not mathing. Every time you go to pick up your phone and ask him, "Where are you? What are you doing?" and wait hours and sometimes possibly days for him to answer you. You know in your head that he's not really into you like that. And see, here's the thing about pushing yourself on a man and why it's never going to work, okay? That man is supposed to assume responsibility for you. Oh, no, you didn't. Don't believe that, y'all. Don't believe that. That man is supposed to assume responsibility for you, for your life, for everything that comes with you, for your upkeep, for your maintenance, for all that good stuff. When he decides to make you his wife, he's saying, "Yes, this is all mine. This is who I choose to represent me." It's a lot. There's a lot to be a husband, okay? But so what you can't do, ma'am, sis cousin, is decide for this man that A, he wants to take responsibility for you, or that B, he's even ready for that amount of responsibility in his life. Y'all be signing dudes up for lifetime contracts and they not even interested in a monthly lease. You cannot put yourself on someone like that. And let me tell you something, even if it goes along for, it's not gonna last. Nobody can lie that long. Like, it's not, you're gonna wind up miserable. If he don't divorce you, he's gonna cheat on you. Like, it's gonna become clear that he's only tolerating you. Why do you want to set yourself up for that? The monthly lease? Okay, yes, ma'am. Why you set yourself up for that? It makes no sense. But here's the thing, you're too afraid to be alone. The thought of not having anybody to talk to at all, for some reason, shakes you to your core. And I don't know why. I mean, listen, let me talk to y'all for a second. I understand that there are different levels of attractiveness. Okay. I think one thing we women need to come to the realization of is who we are, what we have, and what we don't have. Okay. Like me. Okay. I like being alone too. Shoot. Give me a book. I'm good. And some food in my bed. I'm good. I don't need much else. um, what was I saying? Okay, yes, we need to realize who we are, what we have, and what we don't have. I'm 42. I have some gray hairs. Okay. And I'm still fine. I mean, so what if you know what I'm saying? This ain't what everybody else got going on. This is what I got going on, and I like it. You gotta get to that point with yourself. Okay, my nose big. So what? It's a big nose. I'm still cute. Learn how to work what you got. Yes, I do, boo. I always need you. I was just, talking in hypotheticals. Yes, the big nose or whatever. Well, big lips ain't a thing, but okay. When I was younger, big lips weren't a thing. I used to get bullied for my lips. But whatever you got a big nose, your eyes, whatever. Your hair. Okay, my hair nappy. Figure out what you can do with what you have and make the best of what you have. That's literally. Stop trying to live up to some fake bull. Stop it. Because listen, no shade, please, no shade to anybody who's getting BBLs, who's getting plastic surgeries. No shade to y'all for, okay? I don't agree with it. I really think it's a sin, but I still love you, okay? But what we have to realize is that come 5, 10, 15 years, them BBLs and them implants, they're gonna need some touch-ups. They're gonna need some redoings. Them fillers, you gotta keep redoing them. When you start tampering with God's work that way, when you start, like, it's one thing to put on makeup. It's another thing to cut yourself open. Okay, that's another thing. I love my big nose. My nose is big, but I'm proving I'm Judah. That's right. That's right. Listen, when you start going to the point of cutting yourself open, and please, Lord, help me, please, because I want y'all to hear where I'm coming from. Okay, it's not. I'm not trying to put anybody down. I'm not trying to do that at all. But we have to realize that, y'all, that shit's not normal. Like, excuse my language, but it's not normal. That just became a thing. Like, plastic surgery in the scope of medicine is still fairly new. I don't know if you guys remember in the 90s, there was this huge like silicone recall, and like all of these women had to go and have their implants from, a lot of times one person wants other people's attributes and the other hello, that part, yes, don't even like it themselves, right? Yeah, back in the 90s, a lot of women had to go and have their silicone implants removed. They were getting sick from them. I mean, like chronic illnesses, their hair was falling out, like it was a big old thing. And lo and behold, here we are in 2023, and we're still having the same issues. You see women like K Michelle and Cardi B talk about how, yeah, they had these injections done and it ruined their life and they had to have them taken out. Okay, so, and here's the thing. These women like K Michelle and Cardi B, they have the money to go to the doctors to get the care that they need, right? Even though I think Cardi B said like her first butt shots were done like in a basement in Brooklyn or something like that. Now she got enough money to go to whoever she want to go to, freaking Dr. Miami, freaking the doctors on Botched. Like she can go wherever she want and get the help that she needs. The issue is you are leading these poor young Black girls, not even young, because some of y'all my age falling for this rigmarole still. Okay, but you're leading these poor Black and Latino women to destroy their bodies like this. They can't afford the upkeep. They can't afford to live when they get home. Let's keep it funky, because why in the hell are you paying $10,000, $20,000 for surgery and you coming back home to pay rent? To pay rent? Yeah, and I saw that show. I was watching it until it just, the eligibility community presence just got too heavy for me, as happens with a lot of TV shows. It's like enough. But anyway, um that's that's the problem. We follow these people out here, right? Without the foresight, without the foresight to see how this is going to affect us in the future. Yes, the eligibility community. And hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't enjoy your life if you still rent an apartment. That's not what I'm saying at all. But my goodness, before you spend $10,000, $20,000 on a booty and whatever else, at least own your car. Own thing. Have something. Have something for yourself. Me and my husband was looking at a purse. Well, no. Let me change that. Me and my daughters were looking at purses online, and my youngest daughter has sent a bag to the family group chat. And it's so cute. It's a snapshot by Marc Jacobs. It's really, really cute little clutch. Delight Hebrew, shalom and shalom. It's a really cute clutch. It's like heart clutch. Marc Jacobs. It's called the Snapshot. Love this bag. I'm about to go ask him for it. And I see it's $325. Now, we could afford that bag. No problem. A few times. He could buy me a few of them. No problem. But if I'm going to spend $325 on an itty bitty bag, then I feel like I would just want to have more money before I go doing things like that. $300 for a bag, a little one at that. Now, let's be clear. If this was an everyday bag, then maybe. Okay, maybe. Okay. But a little bag, a little clutch that you can only like wear to dinner, I can't even fit my little pew pew in there. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even use this bag every day. But it has to make sense. Me spending all this money for this thing has to make sense financially in my life right now. And ma'am, sis, cousin, a lot of us, we turn to shopping and capitalism to help fill those voids in our life. We can't say that we don't. And I feel like that's why Black women are some of the most materialistic women on the planet. And I know y'all see these Arab women living in Dubai and living a good life. And well, what do you mean? Listen, they have it and they can well afford it. And it's not used here. Okay, here's the thing. All right. If we're all poor, relatively compared to everyone else, if we're all poor and you happen to come up on a nice pair of shoes, super cute pair of shoes, right? Nobody else around you can afford these shoes. So when you put these shoes on, oh my goodness, you're the star of the show. Everybody's like, oh, look at your shoes, look at your shoes. I don't know if y'all remember in the 90s, and I was in Germany and I was hearing about this, when they were unaliving each other over a pair of Jordans. Kids lying in the street bleeding out over a pair of Jordans, over a starter jacket. When you don't have something and someone else does, you already feel bad about yourself. This person around you who has more than you now becomes a perpetual reminder that you're not good enough. You don't have enough. And in a community like ours, and we won't for some reason admit how volatile we are emotionally, but in a community like ours, that becomes very dangerous. And we've seen it happen over and over again. But did you ever stop? Well, why won't we stop buying the Jordans? Why won't we stop? Why didn't we stop? Even now. Why Why do we keep funding these brands? And I'm gonna tell y'all what I told my man about that purse. Listen, if you find it at the flea market, because no, I'm not giving Marc Jacobs $300 for that little thing. Right? But someone else will and feel like because they have it, it makes them better than the people around them. We've fallen for the lies for so long. And now this is yet another thing that they use to separate us, the haves and the have nots. And the fact of the matter is, none of us have. None of us have. For real, for real. Because we don't have enough to change lives. You understand what I'm saying? We can't get 3 to 5 strong Black families around here and do something. So in relativity, we don't have. We're all the have-nots. But they'll throw a couple of us some good things and make us feel like, oh, you can do it too. You can do it too. It's a lie. It's a lie. We have to stop being so caught up in materialism. And it's all, y'all are turning into mannequins. Y'all are turning into mannequins. You're quite literally turning into an assembly line of mannequins. You all get the same hair, you all wear the same makeup, you all buy the same clothes, you all go out and buy the same butts, the same stomach, the same boobs, the same bags, the same shoes. And nowadays you can't tell the boys from the girls. So we're all just turning into an assembly line of mannequins. They do. They all go and get that BBO. They go and get the same butts. Being stuck in and here and like I want to call it the past, but can you? Because this is still our current condition. This is our current condition. So I can't even say being stuck in the past. But what I can say is us not learning from the mistakes of the past or even refusing to look on our victories in the past. Because let's be honest, if we go back before the civil rights movement, we was doing okay. We did have. We had communities, we had businesses. It was all Black everything. We had. And instead of us looking back and saying like, what was different back then? We can't see that. We don't want to see that. When we go back that far, we only let people tell us of the death and destruction of our people. We won't, they won't, they never will. So but it's up to us to learn about our structure, how we were organized. How did we survive after emancipation? Those of us that got out and were active in Reconstruction. How did we survive that? We won't go back and look at that. We'll sit and argue about the foolishness of today that makes no difference. I saw an article about something about Beyonce and Dubois, and the amount of comments was ridiculous. How many times has this girl told y'all that she plants stories? They've told us this. Whenever Beyonce does something, her PR agents send out stories. And y'all still arguing back and forth and falling for it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it because it's continuing to lead my people down a deep, dank, dark path of ignorance. You don't want to let the things of the world go. But you can't bring that up in here. You can't bring that mess in the kingdom. Right. Wide is the road to destruction. You can't bring that crap in the kingdom. You can't come up in here with that jealousy and that envy. Because listen, when you first get here, there are going to be a bunch of people doing better than you. We've been here longer. We've been working. One thing that never ceases to amaze me, and I've seen this multiple times, it's like people will look at my husband, and because like he may work with them in one area, for some reason, like they feel entitled to everything. Like they feel like they should, have something to say about all the businesses, or some interest in all the businesses. And when we get an order, they should be getting broke off too. Like, what? No, you ain't been, no, sir, you wasn't with us when we first started this. We was laughing about this the other day. I got in a car accident. That's how we got the money to start our first business. A $10,000 check from a car accident started our first business. You wasn't there with me when I got in the accident. He's my strength. Shalom and shalom. You didn't carry me to the ER. You ain't have to put up with me. You didn't go through the physical therapy. You wasn't there on the days when we was trying to figure out how we was going to make it work. You wasn't there on the days when my husband would just go door to door handing out cards. When he would just take shirts and stand around trying to sell some shirts, trying to talk to the right person. You wasn't there. So why do you feel like you're owed a piece of this? Now, what you can do is start working on your own. We're happy to help you. We're happy to give you a guide in some direction. But what you can't do is think that you're just supposed to walk up in here and start eating at the table. That's not how it works. And that's why some of y'all are going to miss the kingdom, because you don't want to put in the hard work. The Sirach tells us, do not hate hard work. Y'all don't want to do that. You're not just going to walk up in here and feel like you just supposed to get everything. God has been waiting for you a very long time. And let's be honest, there are blessings in your life that you just missed because you were not in the right place at the right time, spiritually and or naturally. That's just facts. You could probably have a lot more than you have if you'd have made better decisions. And here's the thing, ma'am, sis, cousin, until you admit that, until you can accept that, you're never going to move forward from where you are. A lot of y'all just go through life making parallel moves. There's never any upward movement. You was a manager at Burger King, you was a manager at McDonald's, you was a manager at Taco Bell, you was a manager at Outback, you was a manager at Roof Chris. I mean, you still are in the same tax bracket, social bracket. Like nothing ever changes for you. And you need to ask yourself why. Listen, yes, linear. Exactly. Let me talk to y'all for a second. Come close, please. Come closer. Especially if you're like 35 and up, 35, 40 and up, come closer. Listen, ma'am, sis, cousin, if you're looking around and the people, everybody around you seems to have more than you, then it's something you doing wrong, babe. It's something you doing wrong. Everybody else seems to be established. Listen, I told y'all the other week, my goal was always to have my ish together by 40. Like by 40, I wanted to be stable, you know what I'm saying? Grounded, like doing what I'm supposed to do, having my stuff together. All praise to the Most High that happened for me. Okay. And so now I know that there are some of y'all out there that may be around my age, or you may be older than me, or you may be a little bit younger than me, but you're saying, like, dang, when I really sit down and think about it, I don't have anything to show for my time. You've been working since you were 16 and you have nothing to show for it. You own nothing. never owned a car, never had a title to anything, don't even own the furniture in your house. You might not even own the hair on your head because you know you can get Afterpay for that. I'm just saying, like, is that not enough of a wake-up call? Does it never bother you that you won't have anything to leave your kids? Do you ever think about that? Well, I mean, they do. You know, you can buy weave on credit. You can get like lace fronts and everything like that. Afterpay, Klarna, all that stuff. I'm just saying. When Boaz comes to you, when you meet Boaz, when you run into Boaz and y'all start talking, what are you gonna tell him that you have to bring to the table? Because I never said that you shouldn't have anything to bring to the table, honey. You gotta have something. You gotta have some kind of skill set, at least. Be able to help him grow a business. I thank God I got in that car accident. Shoot, that's my contribution. I mean, really, you gotta have something. If you're not good with finances, do you at least have knowledge? Do you have anything? You got good credit. Anything at all. And that's another thing y'all need to start discussing credit before you get married. Know what you're getting into. Me and my husband knew what we was getting into. Both our credit was jacked up, but we fixed it. We worked together and we fixed it. But we knew this going in. Some of y'all don't know until y'all trying to find a place to live, and neither one of y'all can qualify for it. You need to know about these things ahead of time. I'm not saying I'm not saying don't marry somebody because they credit bad, but I'm just saying look around. Are they willing to work on it? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, do they acknowledge that yes, this is a problem and they want to get better? Or are they just saying like bump that credit? And now you need to know what you want to do. Do you want to be involved with this person? Is your credit good enough to carry y'all? Or his credit bad and your credit bad, so this is probably not a good situation. Be honest with yourself. As a whole and on so many levels, this message is relevant, right? It's relevant to us as a people, it's relevant to us as individuals, it's relevant in our relationships, it's relevant even in our family and interpersonal relationships. Okay. Um, y'all love to hold grudges. And we always talk about how, women are like elephants. They remember stuff forever, but maybe y'all need to start forgetting something. Maybe you do, because the grudge is very ugly on you. It's not a good look at all. Now, listen, I'm not saying that there are not some things that are just unforgivable. By all means, some things, nah. Some things you just can't forget. And some things you just may not be able to forgive. I get that. So now let's separate ourselves from that. But the problem is we won't let it go. Like, we'll hold on to it and let it fester. And, you know, I don't know if you've ever like worked out really hard and gotten a little musty. Um, but it's like, okay, no, that's not a good example. If you've ever smelled someone that was musty, right? And they walk around like this all the time, like somebody at work or whatever. You're like, dang, they always stink. Like, why do they always stink? They've been in their stink so long that they can't smell it. It don't affect them anymore. It don't bother them. It's normal to them. They've learned how to live with it. They live in it. But it's offensive to the people around you. And you can't figure out, why don't nobody like me? Why won't nobody love me? I just want to be loved by like everybody else. Well, ma'am, you're nasty. You're nasty. Your attitude sucks. You won't give anybody a chance because of what Wilbert did to you back in 1975. And here it is, 2023. And you done told your daughter about it. And every time she got even a boy smiling at her, and I don't remember what that nigga did to me. That's all he gonna do to you. And so now not only are you lonely and miserable, your daughter lonely and miserable. She done went out here and had a baby. And her and the baby daddy could have made it work, but your voice constantly in about, nah, remember what Wilbur did to me? He gonna do the same thing to you. Y'all know I'm not good at making up names on the fly. Okay, so you being stuck in your own past and your own pain and your own bitterness is now setting your future generations up for the kill. She named the baby Wilbur too. The boy named Wilbur Jr. Okay, you're setting your future generations up for the same trap, for the same bitterness, the same emptiness, the same loneliness. And will y'all not look at the effect that it's having on our sons? I'm so thankful to God that I did not have a son until I married my husband because, oh my God, I don't understand them at all. They do things that I never thought to do and that I never had to deal with my daughters. But if I didn't have my husband here to tell me, like, no, that's normal for a boy, I would be trying to make them behave like girls. And here's the problem. We won't admit that. But we need to admit that, ma'am, sis, cousin, you're trying to raise that boy like a girl because you don't know what it's like to be a boy. You don't know what it feels like to be a boy. You have no idea what they go through. And instead of us taking accountability, I wish I had that thing like SpongeBob with the imagination, accountability, because for some reason we've gotten into this feminist new age rhetoric that there's no difference between men and women, and anything a man can do, a woman can do. And you see where that got us. But instead of taking a step back and admitting, like, well, I don't understand my son. I need to get some male help. A male that you can trust, of course, but I need some help. Because I don't understand how to relate to him. I don't understand what he's doing. I don't understand why he's acting like this. Why does he always have to jump off everything? Listen, my son, we have columns in our separating like 2 living rooms. My son climbs up these columns. Okay. And in my mind, I'm like, stop, get down, you're gonna hurt yourself. But his daddy is like, oh, there you go. No, get him down. But I have to let him be a boy. I'm not sending no little soft, little sissy, little punk out here. I have to let him be a boy. But I wouldn't know that if it wasn't for his father, my husband. We are going to keep damaging generation after generation after generation because we will not close them doors and close those windows and say, we're not doing this no more. The madness stops right here. The buck stops here. We're not doing this no more. You need to sit down and start a list of realizations that you realize about yourself. That's a good place to start. Thank you, my good sis. That's a good place to start. Get you a notebook. It don't got to be a fancy journal or nothing like that. Get you a piece of pen and a paper. The mistakes that I have made, what I need to be accountable for, things I need to fix in my life, however you want to title it, and start writing it down. And then start praying about it. Go down the list. Lord, this is what I need help with. I need to get my credit straight. I want to get a better job. Lord, I'd like to find a good husband. Help me get out of this situation I'm in. Help me do better by my kids. I don't understand. Y'all give everything a chance but God. Y'all tell everybody everything but God. Oh. You'll tell your mama, you'll tell your auntie, you'll tell everybody, even that person who went and told all your business last time, you'll sit and tell them, but you won't tell God. The only one who can change anything. Can't nobody else do nothing for you, boo. You done messed up too bad. And I don't have a problem telling you this because I feel like one of the greatest places to be is at a place where only God can help you, because now he has the opportunity to get the glory out of your life. Nobody else can take credit for your come up but God. I'm so happy that things happen the way they happen, because my husband was well before he married me. He was doing good. He was living good. I was all right. You know what I'm saying? I was maintaining. I was okay. We were at a point of transition for both of us. I was about to move into a place with me and my 3 daughters. Okay. We already decided we was going to get married. You know, he told me he wanted to marry me and all this good stuff. I said, listen, I'm not going to do is I'm not about to go out here and rent a place meant for me and 3 daughters and move some girl behind man in it. No, that's what I'm not going to do. Okay. Now, sir, what you can do is let's get married. Let's find us a place. And then we as a family can live in this place. Okay. But what we're not doing is having me make a place to accommodate nothing but women. And now I'm bringing this man in here. You know what I'm saying? You have to respect that. You have to respect that. You have to respect the fact that your kids have feelings. And then the fact of the matter is I couldn't afford as much house by myself as we could afford together. So now there's plenty of room for everyone to feel comfortable. But see, some of y'all, I ain't gonna get into that, but some of y'all are afraid to put your foot down, and that's why you'll never advance. You gotta not be afraid for that man to say no and walk away. I'm dating to get married. Are you dating for marriage? And as soon as he say no, okay, well, sir, thank you so much. I appreciate your time and good luck in all your future endeavors. Click or end. That needs to be it, but y'all won't do that. You don't want to risk it all. And sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to. Listen, people who have been doing the same things for years are not going to be happy about you coming up in here trying to do something new. And hear me. Hear this. This is what y'all need to hear. No matter how much you can show them, it's in the Bible. And that be the kicker, right? Because it's like, wait a minute, y'all told me all my life to read this book and to trust in this book. And now I'm coming back and telling y'all, wait a minute, it's some stuff in this book that they didn't tell us about. But now this very book that you told me not to trust, you're telling me not to trust it? I can't trust this book that you made me read growing up, made me read it. Be sitting at the table about to fall asleep, you popping my hands, making me stay awake to read this Bible. And now that I'm coming back and telling you, like, wait a minute, we missed some parts. I'm wrong. But y'all won't risk it all. Y'all won't risk your parents not talking to you. Y'all won't risk your friends leaving you out. You too afraid to be alone with God. When I'm telling you that's some of the best time of your life. Y'all sit on a fence of hypocrisy and you sit on a fence of lukewarmness. And let me just tell you, in this day and time when evil is being exposed left and right, ma'am, sis, cousin, I urge you to get your life together. Any little secrets you got going on, you better go ahead and correct that ish before the revealing angel comes to your door. Right. You have to. If you're not willing to lose your parents, your children, your adult children, because I mean, our little kids, you don't have a choice. You following the law. But we were raised in Christianity, and my adult children were raised in Christianity for most of their life. So for them, it's a time of transitioning because they're old enough to make up their own minds. You know what I mean? They have a prior knowledge, and now we're presenting something else. I don't just expect them to, in earnest, just be like, oh, okay, sure, yeah. No, it's going to take time like it took me time. I was on that journey for years trying to figure out what is it. I know there's more than this. There's something they're not telling. That was over like 10, 12 years, and actually it still continues. Because it seems like every time I pick up the Bible, I'm finding something new, or I go to listen to something and I'm finding out something new, okay? So please understand what I'm saying. The only way forward, your body, if you are not looking forward, your body will not move forward. Your body is going to move in the direction that your head is looking, that your eyes are looking. So if you are not looking forward, you're not going forward. You're not moving forward. You're going to stay stuck, and your daughter's going to be stuck, and her daughter's going to be stuck. And here's the thing, like, we just so take it for granted that every person is motivated to make changes in their life like we are. But I would think that, again, looking at the reality around us, we would realize that obviously that's not true. And what comes to my mind is, what if I'm a once in a few generations type of person? What if you know what I'm saying? What if if the Lord should tarry, what if somebody with my motivation to change our generations doesn't come along? You know what I'm saying? What if my kids don't do it? And what if their kids don't do it? And what if their kids don't do it? Then what was I here for? What was I here for? I need to buy a physical Bible with the Apocrypha because I don't really read the app like that. I need to flip it. I love flipping pages too. I'm a page flipper. I think it's a generational thing. That's how I grew up reading books, flipping pages. I can't really do Kindles and apps and stuff, so I totally get it. But what was I here for? What did I do? You know, our grandparents and our great grandparents, they may not have been able to leave us a financial inheritance. But I'm thankful for at least the spiritual inheritance that they left, because while they may not have had all of the components of the truth, they knew enough to direct us to God. And that's one thing I am thankful for, because even though I'm finding out new things, it does not change the fact that my relationship is with God. That's never going to change. And here's the thing, God's not changing. You've been misled about who he was for so long. And so at first I get it. It's easy to feel lost, and it's easy to feel like, oh my gosh, do I even know God at all? But what you can't do is you can't let the mistakes, even that other people made, keep you stuck in the past. You can't let the lies that other people told cause you to stay stuck. If I'm sitting in my car door, okay, what's even funnier? One of my daughters pulled up to the house, and my husband was outside, right? And she was just sitting in a car, and he was like, "What is wrong with her? Why is she just sitting in a car like that?" So he calls her on the phone, and he's like, "Hey, why you just sitting in a car? What's going on?" And she's like, "I can't open the car from the inside. I'm stuck." So my husband goes, "Girl, roll down the window and open the car from the outside." Now, if he wouldn't have told her that, right? And she's just sitting in there struggling, even though he done call her and ask for help. Dad, I can't get out the car. And he's just sitting there like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know. There's no way out. I don't know what to tell you, right? And then I come outside and I walk up to the door. I open the door to let her out. What kind of fool would she be to continue to sit in the car and say, oh, well, Dad said that there's no way to open the door, so I can't get out. Now I've opened the door. Why it's open for you to walk out? I've shown you how to do this yourself. See, just grab the handle from the outside. You can open it yourself. So you're free to get back in, but you can always get back out. You know what I'm saying? How foolish would it be of her to not get out the car because of what her dad said before I came outside? But see, that's what some of y'all do. Y'all will stay in the car on the wide and broad path to destruction, let's just call it that, even when presented with the truth. Even when you're presented with the truth in the Bible, and then you cannot back up your own position in said Bible. I've had people argue me down, even when they can't find their point in the Bible. And I'm telling, listen, it's right here. This is the truth. This is what it says. But because of what somebody told them before, they can't let it go. So they're going to stay stuck and bound in that same spiritual prison. That's what I'm going to call it. Because there's freedom in obedience. Oh, there's a freedom and a liberty in obedience and living for the Most High that you have never experienced before. But y'all refuse to come into that. And can I tell y'all something? One of the things that I really like about being in the truth, that I feel like I'm so free to do, is to love my blackness. To love my blackness. To love my hair. To love my skin. To love my shape. To love the things about me that make me black, that give me this experience. And more specifically, being an Israelite. Okay? Just in Christianity, it's always, we don't see color. We're all one. We're all, we're all the same. But when you come into the truth and you realize, no, we're not all the same. And that's okay. That should be celebrated. This is the freedom that a lot of y'all are just refusing to accept because you want to be stuck in the past because what Big Mama and them told you before. Not only is it hurting you, it's hurting your children. It's hurting their children. We've got to, again, take accountability, start having some real open and honest conversations with ourselves, with our kids. When you're ready, I honestly, now I'm not even going to say that was me because I don't think I'm smart enough to come up with these kind of things, but I honestly suggest that y'all sit down and write that list out tonight. And then after you write your list, and I'm not saying it has to be exhaustive tonight. Maybe you can only handle a few things a day. Maybe you just need to be like 2, 3, or 4 things, just things you need to repent for. And it's between you and God. Be as specific as possible. You got some anger. You got some jealousy. You know what I'm saying? Be honest. Be honest about how you feel. My heart ain't right toward this person. I don't know why this person please help me. Take accountability. I messed up my last marriage. It was my fault that marriage ended. I could have been a better wife. I could have been a better mom. I can still be a better mom. You know what I'm saying? It's never too late. But again, you have to start taking accountability before you can make any changes. The only reason you're in the situation you're in now is because of the decisions you made previously. The only way you can change your situation is to start making better decisions. The secret place is the safest place because you ain't never got to worry about God telling nobody your business. He ain't gonna call nobody. He ain't about to tell nobody. None of that. And then you will begin to see open reward and open resolve. And the people around you aren't even gonna know, but you'll know. Like, oh my gosh, I prayed for this, and here it is. You'll know that. Don't think it doesn't pay off. It does. You'll begin to see God orchestrate things in your life, and you'll look up 5 and 10 years from now and not believe the life that you're living. And I'm only telling you this because I experience it myself. Sometimes I just sit up and I look around and I'm like, wow, is this my life? Is this really me? And yes, I want that experience for all of my sisters and cousins. But I'm telling you, the only way there is through repentance and obedience. That there's no other way. I'm not about to sit here and be like 10 steps to get the man that you need or 10 steps. No. Step 1, repent and obey. And keep moving forward. Don't look back. There's nothing in the streets for you but hard time and heartaches. Okay? Bills and other people's baby daddies. That's all there is out here. Listen, if you got something good going on at the house, keep your behind at the house. That man is stable. That man is, because nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. As much as I love my husband, he's not perfect either. He's perfect for me. We work well together. We work well together. But I lived enough to know that I'm not going to get these results nowhere else. And this is what you need to understand as well. All right. As long as 2 people are willing to work together, there's no limit to the things that you guys can do. There's no limit to the issues that you can resolve. It's gonna take some work and it's gonna take some time. You both have to grow and you both have to learn, but as long as you both are willing, and ma'am, sis, cousin, you might be like, well, him, but what about you? Sometimes it starts with you. The emotional one, the nourisher, the one who's supposed to be more spiritually and emotionally aware. Sometimes we literally have to be their emotions. He may not feel comfortable coming to you and saying, listen, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm going through. Maybe he's waiting for you to say, hey, honey, this is what I've been thinking. And of course, at a good time, don't bother him when he just came home from work or while he's trying to play video game. Don't bother him. Wait for a good time. Even if you gotta sit down and write it out. I text my husband a lot. We talk through text a lot. Why? Because it gives the other person an opportunity to like read and think about what's being said before they respond. A lot of times when you're talking, it's easy to get triggered and then you just respond to the trigger. And now I'm not hearing anything else you said. But if I had some time to sit and read this, now I'm able to give a much more better, thorough response. Don't you agree, honey? Monologue McGad, everyone.
Sheesh. In the beard, you know what I'm saying? I agree. I mean, a little bit.
You mean a little bit? We can't see you.
Yeah.
So, well, to wrap it up, because the hubby's here. To wrap it up, yes, listen, write that list tonight. Repent, okay? Run it down. Be honest with yourself and your father as only you can. And I promise you, things will start to change if you are open and honest. If you are open and honest with yourself and with God first and foremost. As always, I pray that you let your light stay showing and your skin stay glowing. Angelina, I did not forget about your shirt, honey. I'm definitely gonna do it. I had some other orders that I had to get out this week. Oh, he's my strength. Thank you. Oh, first time visitor at the House of Mono. Make you stand up and introduce yourself to everybody. Oh, come on, Pax. You want some? Come on. The boys are here, everyone. As you know, the young lads of the House of Mono are here. Come here. You're not gonna sit right here?
That's my seat.
Oh my gosh. Atticus comes right here. This is Paxton and Atticus. Say shalom.
Shalom.
Atticus always act like he got to host the show or something.
He get it naturally, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, he does, I guess. Oh, you want to tell me about
You tighten your thing. Because it's all that rocking back and forth.
Oh, I didn't know. I kept adjusting it like whatever. About kinky boots.
Not really.
Okay. All righty.
We
So
have a surprise.
What?
It's about a puppy.
what? You can't tell
Guys,
me.
The guy who picked up oatmeal,
Mhm.
we got him back and we're keeping him.
Yay. That's great.
We're keeping 2 dogs here. No one's babysitting one, so we'll have to take Stormy away.
We're gonna have to take Stormy away.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that, actually. I'm not mad.
Yeah, man, what's going on?
For your back. Please do. Please do. The first ones be cute. Tanya, shalom, shalom, sis. Yes, please do. Y'all, if y'all are not following me on the socials, could you please follow me? Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff at the wife of Mono. Please also follow this sexy gentleman to my right, your left, at Monologue McGad. If you're on the YouTube, like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. We are debating on doing an episode. I got my husband watching Family Matters reruns. It's on HBO Max. And so
We're not just gonna do family. We are going to do a show. I don't know when we're gonna do it, but we're gonna do a show of watching some TV shows
90s
and
TV.
not just 90s. No, because I want to talk about the goddamn housewives. I want to talk about, and we're gonna react to some of this stuff in real time. We're gonna watch it live on the laptop because we got the apps and stuff. We can watch it live. Y'all can watch live with us. We're gonna be pausing that thing. Or maybe we do it the day after. Maybe we don't watch it and we watch it the day after.
No.
No, we gotta do it the day after so that we don't ruin it for folks
But
who.
I need a complete summary. Like, I need to watch it to know what happened.
No, because we need to
it.
respond to it live so that they can get our true reactions.
Some live reaction. I want some
Like-
live reaction.
Like, oh hell no. Like some of this stuff, bro, it's just so ridiculous about what's going on. Like we are watching what, so we rotate our go to sleep shows.
Yes. We do.
No. So and then it's just like in sections. So like for 1 month strong, we might go to sleep to Martin. 1 month strong, like we was going to sleep to Boondocks. You know, like that show that you put on when you know you're going to sleep. And we were doing that. But like somehow we ended on Family Matters. You know what I'm saying? And like Family Matters was like a cool show, you know what I'm saying? But then it's just like when you realize we
As
know
an adult.
You know, Carl was a police officer, but every episode, this Negro at home.
This is not true. This is
Yes,
one of the
boo.
things we go.
Every
No, just on the episode that was on last night, he was coming home from work.
Okay, but
you remember when he got promoted to lieutenant?
Okay, but we watched 50 episodes in a row where it started off this nigga in the kitchen. He at home.
That's not true.
He always at the house cleaning. He always wool the wool. He always
had a job.
Yeah, we know he had a job, but that wasn't the.
Wasn't the focal point.
He was the housewife of the show, and his wife was the husband. Like it's what it is. They emasculated this man every episode, and like we didn't notice it back then. And so we gonna respond to some of these things, man, live on air. Watch some of these shows, and respond to them live on air. What shall we call this show? We're taking suggestions right now. People, the House of Mono responding to TV shows.
What are we gonna call it?
And talking about them, dissecting it. And if we need to pull a scripture every now and then, we might will. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna need a lot of scriptures.
What should we call this show?
Y'all let us know.
Send your suggestions. Send your suggestions here in the chat.
You can DM
them, you know what I'm saying?
Of something later.
Yeah,
but
man.
I feel like this is something we need to do. I was focusing on 90s TV because that's what a lot of us grew up on. I know as a latchkey kid, I grew up on 90s television. And that's, I feel like, where a lot of us got our role models from, because we maybe didn't have two parents in the home. So we're looking at these black men on TV for black authority. And the results are...
We need to call it, what is that?
Oh, okay. That's a good one. Yeah, so we're gonna I've been wanting to do this, so we're definitely gonna do this. I'm glad I got him into it. Now he can't watch Family Matters without going off. Like at least
once an episode, he's like, "Look at this! Would you look at this?"
I turned you to
the monster voice. Team 1 2 1 2. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, how that's not working?
He wasn't pushing the button while you were talking.
No, but we're gonna do this show, man.
We're going to do the show. Anything else?
No, so I mean, just want to let all our people know, man, that we love y'all. Hey, y'all, stay vigilant, stay
vigilant, stay focused, stay obedient,
ladies. Hey, man, and y'all
keep your legs closed.
Y'all keep striving, man. Keep striving for the Most High, man. Keep striving for holiness together.
Keep your legs open.
Listen, y'all got to keep striving, man. We're watching all the things that the crazy people, man, in the Power Ranger outfits on the corner have been saying for years. You know, that's what the folks. We talking ministry now, guys, so you gotta be quiet. Listen, all the things that the crazy people on the corner's been saying is now coming to pass, you guys. So, man, it's time for us to buckle up and stand firm in what we believe in, man, and walk in the fruit of the Spirit. Make sure our words are seasoned with salt. We don't promote hate here at the House of Mono. You know what I'm saying? We live peaceably with all men, but at the end of the day, bro, we know what's going on. And so it's just time to, man, it's time to turn up, man.
For the Lord.
It is what it is. For the Lord. Listen, you know the club about to close? Get your last dance in.
Mark Selvey. Shalom and shalom.
Mark Selvey, what's going on, King?
Did you hear me talk about they moved the doomsday clock to 90 seconds to midnight?
Yeah. 90 seconds to midnight. Oh,
90 seconds to annihilation. That's what they're saying. Like,
yeah, I saw something about the doomsday clock getting pushed up, man. So,
yeah,
but listen, man, it's about to go off.
Right. No, I was gonna say, remember when you was in the club, the last song is on, they have turned the lights on. Okay, they turned the lights on in the club. It's time to go watch House of Mono take the blindfolds off. Ooh, that's a good one.
Take the blindfolds off. Ooh, that's good. That's good. But hey, listen, man, we love y'all, bro. Hey, keep the Most High first in all
Thank
that you
to
do.
Our first-time visitor.
Be obedient to the Most High. Hey, man, and hey, keep the faith in His Son, man. Yahweh Shai, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, bro, we on our way out of here, man. We see the end is coming. It's time to not lose focus. Stand firm on His word, the true word.
Write your list tonight. Listen, I will be praying for y'all. Please don't think I don't pray for y'all. Please do not think I just be up here talking junk. I'm not. I will be praying for y'all. Please write your list tonight. Keep me updated. I want to know about the positive changes that you guys are making in your lives, not just for yourself, but for your future generations. We love you. Shalom.
Take control of. One time for the men doing kind thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foes that came.